Right, this is the Prograce WP350 4K, which of course is interpolated, action camera. Now this is from the company that made the Akaso EK7000, which has been a really big selling action camera, so I expect it should be pretty good. They've probably learnt a few things from that first camera. Let's see what else you get in the box. Straps here for securing the mounting brackets, which are also self-adhesive so that you can actually stick them on your helmets or skateboards or whatever. You've got some cable ties, lens cleaning cloth and a wire strap there for securing the camera. Good selection of mounting brackets that go on these clip-in mounts, which I'm sure you're aware of. Just slide into the mounts like so. Good selection there anyway, long ones, short ones, twisted ones. You've got a couple more mounts here, tripod mount, male and female. You've got a handlebar mount. You've got a skeleton case, which I find very useful for paragliding. When you don't need it in a waterproof case, you can just clip the thing on with the help of this backpack clip that just clips in the back of it. Dead easy. And of course that's got a tripod screw either end as well. Easy for mounting. Got a little leaflet here saying you can win a free gift. Can't be bad. Not sure if it comes with 2 batteries. There may be one inside, I'll see in a minute, but there's a battery there. USB charging cable, operation leaflet, and obviously there's a QR code on the back, so there must be an app that goes with this. And you've got an open back, i.e. ventilated, for the camera, which means you get some sound in when you don't need it to be totally waterproof. But most importantly, you've got a wrist remote. And bearing in mind the price of this camera, that is a very useful accessory. And then we come to the camera, which has also got a mounting bracket on it in its waterproof case. Looks like a nicely made case. Get it out. I'll put in a card. Oh God, that is tight. I'll get it out, put in a microSD card and get it on charge, and then we'll take a closer look. Initial impressions are good. It looks nicely manufactured, doesn't have open seams that I've seen on some of these budget cameras. Let's see if there is a battery in here. Yes, there is a battery inside, so it actually comes with 2 batteries. Right, I'll get it on charge, put in a card. Not sure what the max is, I'll tell you in a bit. Right, I'm going to slip in a micro card. They suggest 16 gig or 32 gig. This is a 32 gig SanDisk Ultra that I've got kicking around. It is a class 10, and let's see which way it goes. Goes in logo side towards the back, just like so. Right, let's get it on charge. Right, well, I've got the camera on charge. There's a little blue light on the front, which they call the status light. When the blue light goes out, it should be fully charged. Right then, the Prograce WP350 4K action camera. Let's take a look. On this end you've got micro USB and a HDMI out and a slot for the micro card. They suggest class 10 or above. You should always use class 10 or above with these 4K action cameras, otherwise you'll find some of the options in the menu will be greyed out. I'm using a class 10 SanDisk 16 gig. You can use up to 32 gig. And the card goes in that way, logo side towards the back. On the base you've got the battery slot. One of the changes between this and the Akaso is this comes with 2 batteries, so it gives you longer recording time. On this end you've got scrolling up and down buttons. On the front you have the power on off button, and of course that acts as a mode button when you're using it to scroll through the settings, and the 170 degree wide angle lens. On the top you've got the shutter button and another flashing LED that tells you when you're recording, and of course you use the shutter button in conjunction with the mode button to scroll through the menu settings. And of course on the back you've got the 2-inch LCD screen. Right, so the operation of the camera. Press the power button, turn on, and I'm immediately in video mode here, so press the shutter button, and as you can see video time's counting down it says I've got an hour and 27 minutes recording time on that 16 gig card. So with 2 batteries, that wouldn't be enough recording time in total. You're probably better off with 32 gig. It's counting down. You've got red light flashing here, so you know when this is recording. Press again, and I've stopped recording. Other things that it's showing here is that I'm in 1080/60 and the battery level. So that was video mode. Press the power button one more time. I'm in stills mode with a capacity there at 12 megapixels of 8430 stills. Press the shutter button, and of course you heard a little click. I've just taken a still. Easy, easy. Press the power button again. I'm in burst photo mode, so it will now take a series of photographs. Did you hear that? Click, click, click. It's taken 3. Press the shutter again. I'm in time-lapse mode. And as you can see, it's counting down. So if you're into taking selfies with your selfie stick or whatever, you can use that. Of course, you've got a remote there, so you could use a selfie stick and use the remote and fire the camera that way. But I'll show you that in a minute. And then you've got settings. So if I press again, I'm back into video mode. So to get to settings, first one is camera, second one is burst photo, third one is time lapse, then I've got settings. So the first one showing there is video resolution. Press the shutter again, I'm into that, and I can scroll up and down and change from 1080/60 through to 4K at 25, through to 4K at 25 frames a second, 2.7K at 30 frames a second. I would point out, of course, the 4K is an interpolated 4K. But I'll come back to, let's say I want to change to 1080 at 30 instead of 1080 at 60. I select it there, press the shutter and it's set, press power button, scroll through until you get to the little X, just there, and then you can come out of it. So now, as you can see, it's in 1080/30. So to go back to that again, press power again, press power, power, power. I'm in settings, press shutter, video resolution. Looping video, of course, is for when you want to use it as a dash cam. Timestamp, on or off, exposure values, photo resolution, burst photos, time lapse. Time lapse isn't what I would call time lapse. It's actually delayed shutter release, as you just saw, with a countdown of 10 seconds there. If you use continuous lapse on, it will take a series of photographs at a predetermined interval according to that. So you could stitch those together to make a time lapse. So keeping going down through here, we have power frequency, language, date time, sound indicator. That obviously turns the beep on and off. Turn it upside down. That's if you're using it as a dash cam. Screensaver, which I've got set to 1 minute. That just shuts the screen down after a while to save battery life. Power save shuts it down if you're not using it. And format the card. Always a good idea with these cameras to, once you put a micro card in, press format, and it will format the card, and then you know it suits the camera. I'm not going to do it, otherwise it's going to delete all those pictures and videos. So come out of that, one more click, I'm in reset, which resets it to factory settings. Version is firmware version, and one more click, the X is illuminated. Press the shutter and I'm back into my video mode. Press the up button and you're into playback mode, either for stills or for video. So you can press the shutter button there, and as you can see, the little icon there, I'm in play. I can scroll through and play my videos. Press the up button again, press the mode button again, I can switch and change to stills, up and down. Press the up button again and I've come out of it and I'm back in video mode again. A couple of things to mention that I noticed. First, the manual talks about the EasyCam app, which was the app that worked in the past with the Akaso camera. I was a bit confused because the QR code here took me to an app called iSmart TV. I made some inquiries to the company that manufacture this, and they said that EZCAM has changed its format and requires registering to be used now, and so they have switched to iSmart, and the manual will be reprinted in the next run. So I'll come back onto the app after I finish this section. Right, I'll come on to the remote. There's no pairing to be done with this. Straight out of the box, it actually works. As you can see, it's got two icons on it. One is a camera, one is a video camera. So if you watch now, if I press that, I've immediately started video recording, lights flashing. Press again and I've stopped it. There's no indication on this that you're actually recording on the remote. You have to see this light flashing, and I have never seen a remote that actually shows a light on the remote to show if it's working, because of course it would require two-way communication between the camera and the remote. All the same, very useful bit of kit. Other thing I'd say is they say waterproof up to 3 meters. They're probably talking about static pressure and not when you're swimming, because when you're swimming and it's moving around, you're actually creating more internal pressure. So I'd call it splash proof, but good bit of kit. But all in all, easy to use camera, looks nicely made, and as I say, comes with a remote, which is unusual for a camera at this price. Right, so let's take a look at the app. I'll go into settings, turn the camera on, press the down button, Wi-Fi on. So now let's turn the Wi-Fi on my phone. Actually comes up here as iCam WP350, so there's no confusion about which camera you've got here. I've got a feeling, yes, I've got a feeling in the manual it says it comes up as H9R. Of course it's connected because I'd already put the password in, which is 1234567890, if I recall correctly. I'll put it on the screen. Come out of that into the app, and as you can see it's already connected, and of course you can have different cameras on it if you want, but connected. And as you can see, it's now showing me on my phone just what the camera's looking at, which is me looking at the camera with another video camera just here. What can you do with it? You can start video remotely. See the lights flashing there, started recording. Made a little ding noise when I did that. Stop recording. Can change from video to camera. You can change a couple of settings, turn the date stamp on and off. I've got it turned off, and you can change the video resolution. You can download photos and video to your phone. Anyway, so that's the app. Very useful to be able to start video remotely. Say if you wanted to record some wildlife, you could plant the camera up to, say, probably 10 meters away, review the situation, make sure you haven't got auto power down working, otherwise the camera will power down while it's sat there waiting. But you could potentially monitor and record something from a distance. You could also, as I say, if you were out somewhere doing a sport, preview your video and watch them on a tablet or phone. So all in all, a useful app, and I hope that's helpful. Right, this is one of my favourite test shots. All of these clips are at 1080/60 and settings are on auto, but there's lots of detail here, and as I pan round you can see off into the distance into the harbour, and lots of detail on the brickwork here, and of course the audio is from the camera. And here's my other favourite test shot. Still at 1080-60, lots of detail on the cottages. It's quite a weak and watery sunshine today. But there's some good detail here on the windows of the cottages and nice colours to compare. And you can see the rigging on the boats. Good test of how sharp the lens is. This is Brixham Harbour, by the way. The big black boat you can see there is a replica of Sir Francis Drake boat, the Golden Hind, which he did lots of voyages of exploration with in the 1600s. And there's some good detail here on the old Market House pub, which used to be the fish market actually, but the fish market is now much bigger, and it's located over that side of the harbour. And here's a good low light test, very dark inside my local pub. And yes, I know I need some new gloves. And just to show you that my bike ride is not all level and on tarmac, this is the start of the track up to Berry Head, which is a rocky bumpy track, and I do it quite often. So here we go. Not much sun now, just a little bit of watery sun coming through. Could be time for a cup of tea here. The Berry Head Hotel, which has got a lovely view.